Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to our special presentation of Heaven, How I Got Here, the story of the thief on the cross.
So I said to him, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. I know. I have some nerve, especially considering a few moments ago I had been cursing him out. If he remembered all of that when he came into his kingdom, well, I would probably be done for. The fact is, I figured I was done for already. But then I remembered his words. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Forgive them. Forgiveness. I mean, even the word felt foreign in my mouth. Forgiveness was scarce in the legalistic world that my mother had spoken about so often. Do good, and all will be well. Do bad, and you better watch out. There is no hope for any of us when you think like that. Reaping what you sow is not good news for any of us. But forgiveness is always good news. If Jesus could forgive his torturers, well, maybe he could forgive me. Maybe he could remember me when he came into his kingdom. And if he did, it wouldn't be because of anything I had done or I had to offer. It would purely be an act of undeserved mercy and kindness, which is exactly what he was offering the soldiers that were crucifying him. Mercy and kindness. I asked him to remember me. And with that simple request, for the first time in my life, I began to fear God. In that moment, I believed that Jesus was who he said he was, the Messiah. And I asked him to remember me, to save me. It was stunningly simple, really. I just decided to put my life into his hands. My hand outstretched to his hand. I believed in him as the Son of God, my King, and I waited for him to respond. And he did, when he said, Amen. Amen. My request had been simple, and his answer was simpler. Amen. Right then, I looked at his swollen, broken face, and I could actually see joy in his eyes. His body was mangled and he could barely breathe, and he was slowly being tortured to death, and he's joyfully telling me, Amen. Yes, I am with you. It will be done. I wouldn't have been surprised if he had said, Stephen, the kingdom of heaven is not for people like you, but that is not his way. Instead, he joyfully accepted my prayer, and he took his stand with me as I took my stand with him. I asked Jesus to save me, and he did. Freely and gladly, without hesitation or condition. And then, after a short pause, he follows the amen with, I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. Paradise. That's the world where God's people go forever and enjoy his presence. I had no doubt that Jesus was going there after he died, but I was shocked by his promise that I would be there with him. I would be with him in heaven before the day was done. These were the greatest words anyone had ever spoken to me in my life. Time passed and the sun grew very, very hot. Its brightness darkened my sight. So I looked down, and there was a small group of people gathered around in front of Jesus. I could tell one of them was his mother, Mary, by the way she wept and the way she waited and the way she worshiped. What it must have been like for her on that day to watch her son suffer so much. I felt compassion for her. Compassion from me. Callous and cruel were my ways. But now I'm feeling compassion. Something strange was happening, and I knew in my heart it was because of Jesus. By that time, the crowd began to quiet down, and I heard Jesus speak again. He said to Mary, "Woman, behold your son." He was talking about a man that was standing right next to her, who I now know to be John, one of his disciples. John later went on to write the fourth gospel.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.